So what about, tell us a bit about what your other side. I mean, it must be difficult, balancing act with business and celebrity kind of voiceover work. That must be hard.
It is. I mean, my days, no 2 days are ever the same for me, and I do find myself sometimes chasing my own tail, and I think it's probably because I throw myself into. So I find it difficult to say no to people. I say yes all the time. My manager and agent and my wife keep saying you've got to say no more often. So I am guilty of perhaps having that sort of Protestant work ethic, which probably goes back to my time when I grew up in Northern Ireland. You know, I had that very sort of strong imbued with work. You know, you had to work, and so I just work all the time. But I do find it sometimes quite. It's, you know, sometimes you find it quite mind-blowing. You're dealing with this compartment 1 minute, and then, you know, you've got this thing the next. And as I mentioned earlier, in my life I wear lots of different hats. But I love the challenge of it all. You know, and you know, I'm not complaining. I'm so lucky to have that opportunity to do those things. I mean, the other day, for instance, not the other day, but 2 years ago, I was at a Christmas party and I met a guy who was a friend of a friend, and I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "We're building a hotel in London." I said, "Oh, it's interesting. Well, where is it?" He said, "It's in Soho, and Soho happens to be where I work a lot." I said, "Oh, where is it?" He told me it's in such and such a street. And he said, "We're looking for investors. Do you want to come in?" And I didn't have any money. I didn't think I had. But I said, "Well, I'll have a look." And I had a look at my pension policy, and I was about to transfer some money into that. I thought, actually, no, I'll put it into this hotel. And in a moment of madness, I did. And the day it opened, it's called the Sanctum Soho, by the way, if anybody is interested in going.
Okay.
It's a little plug. And the day it opened, the Chancellor of the Exchequer officially announced that Britain had gone into recession.
Wow.
Which was not what I really wanted to hear. But I have to say, it's doing really well, and we've survived 2.5 years. So, and then we've since opened another one, a sister hotel in the country in Maidenhead. So it's doing really, really well.
Wow, goodness, you have your finger in an awful lot of pies.
Yes. Too many, probably.
Obviously, the one thing people will recognise your voice for is, would you say X Factor is the most popular thing?
I think in terms of exposure, yes. X Factor has been running. This is now, amazingly, in its 8th season now. Yeah. It's 8 years of X Factor.
Goodness,
it's unbelievable. It just seems like yesterday when I auditioned for it. But yes, I mean, 20 million people every week tune into that show. So I suppose my voice is at the very start and peppered throughout it. That's what people are going to. They're going to hear that, hear me. So I suppose in terms of just sheer numbers of exposure, that's where I'm best known. Of course, I do lots of different things, from PlayStation games to Xbox games, corporate video, conferences, lots of different things.
What's your favourite part then? What's your favourite part of having this
of
extraordinary voice? I mean, you have a voice that's well known throughout everywhere. I mean, you like you say yourself, you're involved in X Factor also. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm interested to know, do you have a favourite word that you like to say?
Yes, I do actually, yes.
What is it?
It's 2 words. Well, the viewers of X Factor will know this one. Rachel Adedeji.
That's the one. I
just love saying Rachel's name, and even on a cold winter's morning, in your kitchen when the gloom is around you and you're boiling a kettle of water, there's nothing nicer than shouting Rachel Adedeji at the top of your voice. Cheer you up. I have very simple tastes and pleasures.
Yeah. Oh, that's that's great. I wonder how Rachel feels about that.
Well, she certainly owes me a lot of money now, I'm sure. The amount of publicity I've given her. I should be driving an Aston Martin by now.
Okay, just finally then, let's bring it back to business. I often ask people, and I think you're in a good position to give some advice to SMEs, because you have to, like I say, this huge balancing act between a kind of voiceover job and your business. And many of our viewers will have a kind of main job and their business as well. So they'll be in a similar situation.
Yeah.
What kind of problems and trials have you encountered that maybe you could give a little bit of insight into and how to deal with?
Well, first of all, I would say, if you want to get into business, if you're coming from the point of view of not being a business but wanting to go into business, the first thing I'd say is do it. You can be in business today. If you've got something to sell, a service or a product, you can be in business today through the power of the internet. Make sure you get the fundamentals right. First of all, you must, and this is most important, I don't know about other people, but I like to sleep at night, and I like to know that I've taken care of the financial aspects of the business. So from a taxation point of view, you must make sure that you comply with all legislation. There's no point saying, oh, I'll think about that tomorrow, or I'll leave that to somebody else. As a business owner, you have to take responsibility for your own tax, and for your businesses, if you're a corporation, you have to take responsibility for paying corporation tax. So if you are going to business, one good bit of advice is get an accountant right away. So they will give you very good advice, and they will also save you a lot of money over the long term. So don't think that by not having an accountant and paying those fees you're saving money, you're actually going to be worse off in the end of the day.
Mm.
And thirdly, I think, just enjoy it and pick something that you find fun. And get out there, talk about your business relentlessly to people, get networking, join breakfast clubs, there are plenty of those around, and start talking about your business. And get some business cards printed up.
And
so
of course,
business cards, website, you out there talking, it's going to grow, and if the market demand is there, your business will flourish.